Once again, this is the Midnight Espresso Coffee Forder from Midnight Espresso. On this episode of Two Dudes Brew Reviews, we're going to find out if a bigger budget equals a better beer. And on top of that, we're going to figure out if two dudes can actually review a beer while having a mix of about 7 or 8 different hot sauces in a shot. Let's find out.
Yeah. Screw it. And today we got the wonderful Motorworks Midnight Espresso. It is a whole pint. It is straight from Bradenton, Florida. This can design is actually pretty neat. It has a little train with some steam. I definitely like the noir black and white touch to it and nothing but the gold sticking out.
It is 6.5%, so it's not on the weaker spectrum of the beers that we've had.
Yeah, definitely not. It's also great to see that it's a nice porter that's also local. I mean, Bradenton's probably like, an hour and a half drive, if that, from here. Definitely love to support local businesses as much as I can. But just from the can, it actually looks very enticing, and I have very high hopes for it. Would you like me to crack this open and read some facts, or?
Let's go ahead and read the facts first.
All right.
Straight from the Motorworks Brewing website, using coffee beans hand roasted at Motorworks Brewing, a dark roast on Sumatra beans imparts roasted flavors with a slightly lighter roast on Sulawesi beans provides fruity undertones. Strong chocolate and coffee notes derived from dark caramel and chocolate malts, and a slight sweet finish round out this medium-bodied porter. Some of the awards and recognitions for this beer include 2017 U.S. Open Beer Championship, in which it won the bronze medal, and 2017 Best of Craft Beer, which it won the silver medal. So it's a very accommodated beer.
Alright, so now we're on to the next part of our segment where we're going to do the initial smell test. Crack it open, see what it smells like, and then we'll dive into drinking it, seeing our thoughts on that. So let's go ahead and crack it open.
Initial smell thoughts?
Ooh, definitely.
I can tell by the look on your face you like this one already.
Definitely smells really good. I mean, obviously it's espresso and coffee, so it smells straight up like vanilla coffee, in my opinion. I have very high hopes with this one. I mean, I haven't had it before, of course, but the initial smell, you definitely get that floral aftertone, but definitely very espresso forward. It doesn't smell heavy. From what I can tell so far, it seems like it's going to be a nice, smooth experience.
I'm getting a lot of vanilla, a lot of hazelnut, a lot of chocolate, and a lot of coffee. So far, it's checking all the right boxes for me. So I'm definitely excited to see how this one looks like poured. So let's go ahead and find out how it looks. I generally tend to be a big fan of IPAs and porters, and also some stouts too, so I like both ends of the spectrum. So far, this beer is incredibly dark.
Has a very nice dark color to it.
For you.
Thank you.
As you can see, nice black coffee look, a very thin head. It looks very dense, so that's definitely a good thing, at least in my opinion. So now that we got the brew in the glass, we're gonna go ahead and do an initial taste test. So far, from the looks of it, it basically looks like black coffee in our glasses. Very impressive so far. Not a lot of foamy head on this one, as we have in the past few brews that we've reviewed, so let's go ahead and get a taste of it.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Strong on the coffee.
Very strong on the coffee. It works really well with the alcohol. It kind of like pairs with it in a way of like toning it down, but also brings it out. You definitely get that floral aftertaste, but it's very like once you taste it, it's very like hazelnutty, some sort of like nutty forward, but it does have that sweetness from some sort of like vanilla
And caramel too.
Yeah,
Like, a
something
lot of
like
caramel.
that. Yeah.
It's subtle, but it's there. But that's just the thing is, so far with this beer, it's very chocolatey, very coffee forward. A little bit of vanilla, a little bit of caramel, a little bit of a floral note for the aftertaste. You can definitely tell that this beer is brewed with care and love, unlike the Natty Daddy. Not so much on the Rolling Rock, so.
You're never gonna let that episode down, huh?
No, I will never let that episode down. That was probably the worst thing I've ever tasted.
You know, the true test would be, taking a shot of hot sauce probably, and let's see how it tastes and try to review it while we're under pressure.
Cheers.
All right, let's do it. Very chunky hot sauce. Very chunky indeed. Like we said, there's a whole mix of hot sauces. We got garlic pepper hot sauce, habanero hot sauce, sriracha, natto pepper, really kicking up. All right, so let's try take a sip and see what happens.
Cheers. See if it calms the hot sauce down a little bit. Definitely helps, at least for the first few seconds.
Yeah, definitely up for a little bit there.
The hot sauce kind of deafens the flavor of the beer just in the strictly coffee.
It did. It definitely just, tastes like the hot chocolates that you get, the pepper-infused chocolates. And that actually works for me, so I love spicy. But after doing that drink, that immediately made the hot sauce kind of worse. It kind of mellowed out and kind of
Came back with a vengeance.
So that's one interesting experience. Now, let's talk about can design. What do you think about this? I do notice that there's little coffee mugs there. I don't know if you can see that there. Yeah, I mean, that's cool. So what do you think of the artistic design there?
Once again, I like what you were saying, how it's a very dark can with a silver backdrop. It really pops. It's not like the Natty Daddy can that was like big, bold colors. This one's very subtle. Oh, man, the train carrying the coffee is a very nice touch. Let's go ahead and get a close-up of this can. See if you can get a little view of the coffee there on the back of the can.
And these guys in Bradenton,
I thought that was the Ford logo at first, but it's not. Midnight Sky.
These Bradenton guys, man, they know what they're doing clearly with porters. That's a great porter, but it's really hard to talk.
I don't recommend hot sauce with the beer. The beer definitely tastes good before the hot sauce. So that's our review for the day. Let's go ahead and do our true test of quality. We're going to put these on the porch for about 20 minutes while our mouths are on fire. We'll get a quality test after that, make sure the beer is still drinkable, which I'm sure it will be. And we'll be back in a few minutes.
Yep. And, see you in about 20 minutes, but for you guys, it's going to be like 2 seconds.
All right, it's time for, upon further review, for Midnight Espresso. These beers have been out there for about a solid 20 to 30 minutes. We're gonna see how they taste warmed up, as we do with every brew. Make sure they're still drinkable, as that's a very big determining factor for quality. So let's go ahead and taste them. Brought out the alcohol a little bit.
Yeah, a lot of the flavoring got toned down a lot. It's definitely like
It's a cold beer.
You just took like ground coffee, put water in, and you just kind of drank it straight up with like
alcohol.
a lot of alcohol, and then tiny hints of like hazelnut.
Yeah.
It kind of lost the sweetness of the vanilla.
A lot more bitter.
Yeah.
It's like bitter black coffee with an alcohol taste underneath.
I'm not really getting the floral notes as much. I don't know if
No, they're all but gone.
This.
It's definitely a beer that needs to be
Ice
respected
cold.
and drank. I mean, we had it in the freezer for a solid half hour before we even started drinking it. So
So it was nice and cold, and this is it's not working out really.
definitely keep it cold. Got anything else to add to this episode?
I mean, on further review of the beer, I mean, right out of the gate, it's solid. It's definitely one of those cans, if I were looking for a beer, it would definitely catch my eye immediately because of the contrasting colors it has of the silver with the black and the gold trim. So it definitely, be like, okay, yeah, I'll just grab this one because it looks interesting and cool. And, even on further inspection, I see it as a coffee porter. Reading all the info about the nutty flavors, the floral notes, and espresso and where it's made. I genuinely enjoy it. Like if I had to give it 1 from 10, I'd probably give it at least an 8.
8 bottle caps?
I would at least say an 8. That's probably one of the best porters I've had in a good while. I would give it a 10, but this tastes kind of...
Maybe in a bit of a
Yeah.
a stark contrast from you. I'm going to give this 6.5 bottle caps. And what the viewers need to understand is our bottle cap ranking system for craft beers and cheap beers is completely different.
Yes.
So a 6.5 for a craft beer and a 6.5 for a cheap beer is not going to be on the same podium per se. So once again, I give this a 6.5. You said you give this an 8.
Yeah.
I've had better porters, very seldomly. I mean, it's a very solid porter. In all honesty, with most brewing companies, I feel like the more effort they put into the can, they kind of compensate for what's inside the can. They try to catch your attention with the can. If a beer is honestly good, it should be a simple can. It should be a little eye-catching, but nothing too extravagant, like a Mozart painting, you know, whatever, a Van Gogh painting. Just nice and solid, and they should believe in what's inside the can. So that's our review for this beer.
So why don't we just go ahead and finish these out, and then let the viewers get on their way.
Exactly. Have a great day. Thanks for